Alright guys, time to watch Ben Shapiro own some libs. Let's watch this epic style, bro. Yeah!
My case against rap is, I have the musical case against rap, and then I'll get to the cultural case against rap. So.
What's up guys, it's your boy, famous YouTuber Dwayne The Rock Johnson here, and today we're going to talk about Ben Shapiro. Now if you don't know who Ben Shapiro is, he's a conservative commentator who got real big in the 2015-2016 boom of owning the libs and owning the SJWs, which I have of course taken part in. I'm not above owning the SJWs because they can be pretty stupid. As Ben Shapiro is a conservative commentator, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with that he says. Like most people, I agree with some things he says, and there's a lot of things I don't agree with. Mostly pertaining to religion, because he's Jewish and I'm not, and LGBT issues, because he's conservative and I'm pretty liberal. But a few months ago, he wanted to take on a new topic, not owning the libs, not owning the trans. No, he wanted to own rap music. He released a video called "Is Rap Music Real Music?" I can't wait for Ben Shapiro to own a bunch of black people. Actually, wait, that came out wrong. That's not what I meant. So let's dive into this video and see what he has to say about it.
So the musical case against rap is that, in my view, and the view of my music theorist father who went to music school, there are three elements to music. There is harmony, there is melody, and there's rhythm. Okay. And rap only fulfills one of these, the rhythm section. That there's not a lot of melody and there's not a lot of harmony. And thus it is basically effectively spoken rhythm. And so it's not actually a form of music, it's a form of rhythmic speaking.
Alright, the first logical sin that Ben commits is using the appeal to authority argument, which if you don't know, is an argument that basically uses someone's credentials as the argument itself, saying that because they're in this high position, what they say must be right without any question or doubt. Which is funny because Ben Shapiro's actually called out this argument when speaking to some people talking about sociology.
What I'm getting at is that you're not considered an expert in sociology, psychology, gender studies, lesbian dance theory, many of these things that you've brought up tonight.
As far as, if you want to take issue with the argument, I would urge you not to use the argument from authority, which is somebody has a PhD by their name, they know what they're talking about. That's a dumb argument.
Ironic.
You're also offering kind of an unqualified opinion on a lot of these topics.
See, again, you're just making the argument from authority. I don't think slapping a PhD from Ferris State next to your name makes you an expert in all things in the field in which you propose to speak.
But let's say for all intents and purposes that Ben Shapiro's musical theory father boy is a trustworthy source. So his father, as he states, lists three elements that all music has to have: melody, harmony, and rhythm. I would argue that those are elements of music, most certainly, but you don't have to have all three of those to really call what you've made music. It's definition time, guys. Now, the definition of harmony is the combination of simultaneously sounding musical notes to produce chords and chord progressions having a pleasing effect. Basically, harmony is a bunch of sounds together that sound nice. Melody is a sequence of single notes that is musically satisfying. Basically, long line of musical notes that sound good to the ears. And rhythm is a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound. Basically a grouping of sounds that all form a pattern. He claims that rap music only fulfills the rhythm section and not the harmony or the melody section, which I'd argue that there's plenty of rap songs and rappers that fulfill these sections just fine.
Take a ride with me, we three willing in the four with the goldies. Oh, why do I live this way? Hey, must be the money.
Why must it feel so wrong when I try and do right?
If you want to criticize certain rappers for not using these elements of music, that's fine. I would criticize certain rappers for not using certain elements of music too, and basically just being very basic. But to claim that a whole genre isn't music because not every person in that genre uses all three of these elements kind of doesn't make any sense, especially when you look at the definitions of these things. Lastly, we'll look at the definition of the word music. Music is a combination of vocal or instrumental sounds combined in such a way as to produce beauty of form, harmony, and expression of emotion. So literally by definition, rap is music because it is an expression of emotion and it produces a beauty of form, which is the music itself that is produced. Even the word music comes from the word muse, which is just creativity and artistry.
And this leads to my criticism of rock along the same lines as my criticism of rap, which was that rock was an actual degradation of skill for music from jazz, which was actually a degradation of skill from classical. That the amount of talent and work, mostly work, that you have to put into mastering a classical instrument is a lot higher than the amount of talent that and work you'd have to put into playing 3 chords in a rock song.
No! So now he's kind of tackling rock music, which he's saying that it takes a lot less skill to become a rock artist than it does to become a classical artist. There are thousands of guitar players that have been playing for decades and constantly improving their skill that would highly disagree with you. Just because it takes a different amount of skill for someone to learn something doesn't make that skill any less artistic. I mean, drawing anime and drawing Western animation takes 2 different skill sets and it takes a different amount of time. Doesn't mean one is more artistic than the other. That's not a good argument.
And so when it comes to the lyrics in rap, maybe, I'm sure, part of it is because I just don't have a lot of experience listening to a lot of rap.
He even destroys himself by saying he doesn't even have experience listening to that much rap. How can you speak on something that you haven't even listened to that much?
But it seems like that there's a lot of praise that's put out for particular rappers who it seems to me are doing something that doesn't seem innately very difficult. It doesn't seem like the lyrics have exact rhyme.
Then criticize the individual artists themselves, not the entire art form. That's like someone listening to Nickelback and being like, wow, that's what rock is? This is the entirety of the rock genre? Rock isn't real music. Rock sucks. There are plenty of popular rappers that I would criticize. I would criticize Lil Pump for just repeating the phrase Gucci Gang over and over. I would criticize Young Thug for his unintelligible lyrics. I would criticize Lil Dicky for starting off as a pretty funny rapper, but then getting really, really terrible.
We love the earth, it is our planet.
I have this criticism of in musical theater, this is one of my criticisms of Lin-Manuel Miranda, actually, is that he doesn't use exact rhyme enough. He uses near rhymes, and he uses sort of easier forms of rhyme very often and stacks lyrics in order to make things sound more complex than they are.
He even shows that he's capable of doing this by criticizing Lin-Manuel Miranda when talking about the musical theaters. He's not saying that the entirety of musical theater isn't an art form, he's criticizing one person. For someone who's supposed to be owning people with facts and logic, you're really not using many facts or logic in this argument, are you? So final verdict, Ben Shapiro doesn't really seem to know what he's talking about when he's talking about rap music. He even claims that he doesn't have a lot of experience. I would say to listen to more rap music to expand your horizons. And if you want rap that it's very meaningful, I would say listen to Childish Gambino, Lupe Fiasco, J. Cole. And there's a bunch of other rappers that put a lot of meaning into what they're saying. But to criticize an entire art form saying that it's not real music because of some elements that you personally distaste or some arbitrary 3 rules given to you by your father, that's just not very factual or logical. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube jazz that the YouTubers always say. And I'm gonna go listen to some beautiful music made by one such artiste, Nicki Minaj. There we go.
He love this fat ass.